What did I do today to close a deal? Clutch Closer, what did you do yesterday to close a deal? It's time to do some battle assessments. Clutch Closers, I see people all the time when I walk into dealerships that are doing the same thing every day. They're getting the same results, and they're wondering how things can be different. And they never look in the rearview mirror and say, well, what did I do today to close a deal? What did I do yesterday to close a deal? That's a battle assessment. At the end of the day, when you get ready to just close your book on business for the day, sit down, grab a pen and paper and say, you know, how many phone calls did I make today? How many no's did I get? How much rejection did I shoulder? How many qualified conversations did I have? How many emails did I send out? How full is your phone of text messages to potential clients and previous customers? What did you do on your lunch break? Did you spend it with just yourself, sitting upstairs in the break room, over a TV dinner, watching videos on your phone? Or did you spend it with a potential client? Did you call an old customer that you had and said, hey, Mr. Jones, I was just thinking about you today and wondered if you had time for lunch. I don't need anything, but I just haven't seen you in a while. Odds are Mr. Jones is going to say he's busy. But chances are is that you're completely different than anybody else that's ever sold them before to just think about them and call them out of the blue. And when Mr. Jones's sister's ready to buy a car, who do you think he's going to tell him to go see? Think back on all your interactions of that day. When you walk through the grocery line, did you call the person by name? Are you even using people's name like you're supposed to? Can you remember all your customers' names that you talked to today? And are you telling everybody what you do for a living that you come in contact with? Because I know I started this video by saying when you close your book of business for the day, the truth is when you're in sales, when you're in commissions, your book of business never closes. We're closing all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're always closing. It's one of the ABCs that we talk about. And are we living up to that? When you walked off the battlefield today, when you walking back to your tent, did you leave everything out there on the field? Did you hold back just a little bit? Did you take a couple of shortcuts in the process? Maybe you're in a rut and you felt like you just wanted to get to yes as fast as you could and you can't shoulder another no. So I thought maybe I'll take a shortcut here today and I'll try to move the process along. Did it work for you? What does your battle assessment look like? And I would tell you, you need to do this battle assessment old school. This battle assessment needs to be forced. It needs to be handwritten. It needs to be ink on paper. And you've got to be honest with yourself. And you look at your battle assessment and it's completely full of phone calls, emails, text messages. There's no wasted time filled up. I used my downtime to further myself, my career, my mind. And speaking of that downtime's not necessarily on that page. That downtime's in between the lines. What's going on in between the lines? How are you filling your downtime every day? That's got to be on the paper too. What did you do? Did you use your downtime to learn, to build your mind, to build your client base? Because often what we do when there's nothing to do determines how much we're going to have to do later. And the downtime can be deadly. It's got to go on the battle assessment. It's got to be there. What did you do today to close the deal? Write your battle assessment down. Do it every single day. It's the last thing you do when you close that book of business, when you walk off that battlefield, the last thing you do is a complete and total battle assessment of the day. And what you'll find is your next day is going to be a little different. It's going to be a little different than the day before. And you're going to have a little bit better perspective of what you're doing, because if you don't do that, what you end up with is Groundhog Day. Every day looks like the same day that came before it, and you're duplicating the same success or failure that you had, and you're not necessarily growing. And you may think, well, I want to duplicate the success that I had yesterday. Sure you do, but you want to build on that success. You want that success to move up. And by doing that, you do a battle assessment. Maybe yesterday wasn't what you you want it to be. Maybe it was a slight failure for you. Maybe it was a total failure for you. You need to do a battle assessment so you don't have that same day and that you can build on it and the days click up and up and up. And speaking of building on success, maybe yesterday was a great day and maybe the day before that was a great day. What did you do so you can repeat and build upon that success so it can grow? You need to know what that is. And Clutch Closers, I would encourage you to keep all your battle assessments in the same place, the same notebook, so you can look back and you can revisit those battle plans. When you're having a slow week, a slow day, a slow time, and you're in a rut, you can pull back through and say, well, let me see what I did when I had times that are good, right? Let me see what I did there. Bam! Maybe you pull an idea. Maybe it reminds you of something that was great in your life that you can pull forward, a time when things were clicking right along. You know, Jerry Seinfeld wrote down every single joke he did, good or bad, and he just has stacks and stacks of jokes that he wrote down. How much is Jerry Seinfeld worth? When Benjamin Franklin read a book, we've talked about this before, whenever he went through and read a book, he would sit there and stop when he got to the end of it and he would write down everything he learned in that book. Could he teach that book to somebody? What it would look like if he rewrote that book. And if he thought that he was a success, he reread what he wrote, he re-looked at the book, and if it matched up and he thought he learned it, it went on the shelf. So Clutch Closers, great minds think alike. Do your battle assessment today. Be honest with yourself. Success or failure, you've got to build on it, and we've got to move ourselves up. That's what the battle assessment's all about. This is for you and for nobody else, and this is private only for you when you do it. This is your eyes only, Clutch Closer. Do your battle assessment today. If you like what you see, remember, hit the bell so you get the little ding every time we upload a video. Put a comment down below. How's your battle assessment going? If you like what you see, Clutch Closers, give it a thumbs up.